The streets of ancient Rome were alive with energy. Merchants called out their wares, the clatter of chariots echoed through the forum, and the scent of bread and spices mingled with the stench of the crowded city. But beyond the marble facades of temples and the orderly processions of senators, there existed another Rome, a city of indulgence, intrigue, and forbidden desires. Lucius Cornelius was a man of ambition, born into a modest equestrian family. His sharp wit and cunning nature had earned him favor among the elite. Tonight, he was invited to an exclusive banquet at the villa of Gaius Quintilis, a senator infamous for his extravagant tastes and libertine ways. The villa stood on the Palatine Hill, its walls adorned with frescoes of Bacchus and Venus, gods of wine and love. Slaves moved silently through the halls, their faces expressionless, while guests laughed and drank, their togas loosened as the evening wore on. Lucius entered the atrium, his eyes adjusting to the dim glow of oil lamps. The air was thick with the scent of incense and wine. Musicians played a sultry melody on lyres and flutes as dancers swayed gracefully, their movements captivating and provocative. A voice called out, "Lucius, welcome." Gaius approached, his arms wide in greeting. The senator was a man of excess, his rotund figure wrapped in a richly embroidered toga. "Come, join us. Tonight, we celebrate the gods' gifts to mankind. Pleasure and plenty." Lucius smiled politely and accepted a goblet of spiced wine. He scanned the room, noting the mix of senators, courtesans, and poets engaged in hushed conversations or more intimate pursuits. The atmosphere was electric, a blend of hedonism and secrecy. As the night deepened, the banquet descended into debauchery. Gaius clapped his hands, and the dancers shed their veils, their movements becoming more suggestive. A poet recited verses of forbidden love, his words met with raucous laughter and applause. Lucius found himself seated beside Aurelia, the wife of a prominent senator. Her beauty was undeniable, her golden hair cascading over her shoulders, her dark eyes filled with mischief. She leaned closer, her voice a whisper. "Tell me, Lucius, do you believe in living for the moment?" He hesitated, his mind racing. Aurelia's reputation was well known, but to indulge in such temptation could be dangerous. Yet, the allure of the forbidden was intoxicating. Before he could respond, Gaius called for silence. A slave entered, carrying a gilded chest. "Behold," Gaius declared, "the finest opium from the East. Let us honor the gods with our revelry." As the guests partook, the villa seemed to dissolve into chaos. Conversations turned into confessions, laughter into moans, and alliances into betrayals. The line between pleasure and ruin blurred, and Lucius felt himself being drawn into the whirlwind. By dawn, the villa was silent. Guests lay sprawled across couches, their faces pale, their eyes hollow. Lucius stumbled out into the morning light, his head pounding, his heart heavy. Rome was a city of contrasts. Virtue and vice, power and weakness, discipline and indulgence. For all its grandeur, it was a place where even the strongest could be consumed by temptation. As Lucius made his way home, he vowed never to return to the villa. But in Rome, where ambition and desire walked hand in hand, such promises were rarely kept.